This was the promise.
We will build a great wall along the southern border.
He hasn't got anywhere near finishing that. But those watching migration in Mexico say President Trump's done something else instead, turned the country itself into his wall. In mid-2019, he threatened tariffs if Mexico didn't tighten its southern border. So the country put its newly formed National Guard on the banks of the river with Guatemala and toughened up its checkpoints so that those from neighboring countries couldn't get through.
I think we saw a dramatic decrease in arrivals at the U.S.-Mexico border as a result of Mexico's crackdown, particularly the increased enforcement in Mexico. It was so hard to travel through Mexico at a certain point that you also saw a lot more people requesting asylum in Mexico.
Mexico also agreed that migrants asking for asylum in the US could be dropped across the border to wait here while their request was processed. Some were stuck in places like this camp for months. Others went home. Perhaps all of this wasn't as appealing as the big, beautiful wall, but it did have an impact. After the number of migrants at the US border had been soaring, they went right back down. And interestingly, it wasn't the first time that the US had tried this. In 2014, President Obama's administration had urged Mexico to get tougher on migration too, after an uptick in children showing up at the border. Both clampdowns have had side effects.
It means that migration routes will become even more challenging, which means more terror, kidnapping, and rapes. It's more expensive to get through with the smuggling industry, and violence towards migrants has worsened, both from authorities and organized crime.
For Mexico, securing its southern border also meant siphoning off thousands of the National Guard, which had just been created especially to stop the country's record violence. Now, after a lull helped along by the pandemic, migrant numbers are rising again. That's an issue for incoming President Joe Biden now. He's already said he'll roll back some of Trump's toughest migration policies, but he won't want a rush on the border either. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.